A sound so familiar to the British Army, yet it's the silence that follows that matters most. At the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, we remember them. Lieutenant ASHWELL is with the Royal Anglians.
So we are at Kendrew Barracks in Cottesmore, Rutland. All of the service personnel on the camp are coming together with the primary school that is also on camp. We're coming together to take part in an act of remembrance.
For more than a century, Britain has honoured those who've died in conflicts through remembrance. What began as a way to mark Armistice and the end of the Great War now highlights all sacrifice made by the armed forces.
The importance of today is to remember those who have fallen before us, those who've died in the world wars, in the Korean War, in conflicts in the Balkans, Afghanistan, Iraq, and also those who've died out of conflict, to remember them, their families and friends.
In the heart of Rutland, Kendrew Barracks is home to the Army's serving men and women, and often their families. With the school on site, the children at Cottesmore Academy learn of remembrance young.
Virtually all of our children have a parent who is serving in the armed forces. Some children will even have both parents serving in the armed forces. So it's particularly important that we are part of today.
From our biggest cities to our national memorials. For many, remembrance gives time to think of friends and family who've served in the armed forces. For Private Liam Williams back at Kendrew, that's his great-grandparents.
It's an absolute honour to be able to serve in the British Army. Remembrance Day is a big standing point for me. On both sides of my family, great-grandfathers went off to fight in the Second World War. And it really means a lot, and I believe it means a lot to a lot of other people in the unit.
As the British Army moves further forward into the 21st century, Reverend Tom Wilde reminds us how remembrance serves to connect all in the forces.
The people living on this camp, there's an absolute multitude of different nations, different regiments, different CAPT badges, and all with their own history of conflict and service. And when we remember, what we're allowing people to do is to remember those who these regiments have lost.
The silence observed may be short, but as we look ahead to Remembrance Sunday, the sacrifice it is in place of is beyond words. Will Hollis for GB News in Rutland.